Hopefully you can hear me, and we'll get started in a second with, well, we're going to do a fun hour. I'll explain it in a minute. It's going to be a bit started soon anyway. I don't want to, come across any computer technical problems. We don't need any of that, do we? So let me just see if I can make some changes here very quickly, because it is it working? Are we live? Are we live? How's it looking? How's it looking? Let's have a look. Oh, good. It's looking good. Get started soon, but I'm just going to make sure we have things running as well as we can. So why is it lagging? Is it laggy? It's not good. Get there soon, I'm sure. Well, it looks very laggy to me, unfortunately, which I've got no idea why it's laggy. No, it's not laggy. Okay, well, I'm just going to crack on. And if we have any problems, then let me know. Maybe you need to refresh at your end if it gets bad. And do let me know how the broadcast is going, because I can try to restart it if need be. So hopefully it's going to be all right in our webinar. And I originally was going to do some Tal games, but I changed my mind. I wanted to share with you some fun chess problems, so you guys can have a go at solving the problems as well as we go along. Hopefully it'll become clearer as it goes on. I mean, you have to, the thing with computers are, they're not always the most reliable, even though I think it's a problem with Google Hangouts, because I tested everything beforehand and it's all. So, yeah, I mean, chess for me can be a lot of things. It can be an adventure. It can be educational. It can be fun. And one of the things that people forget is that, you should play chess to have fun. And for me, a lot of things, I really, I've enjoyed chess over the years. It has brought a lot of stuff to my life. And I think there is a sense of humor in chess. And I'm going to try to show you some things that have a bit of sense of humor. And I'm going to show you this first puzzle here. And let's just see if any of you have seen it before. Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. But I think this really shows chess in a funny light. So let me bring the board and see if you can see that. So hopefully you can see the board now. And that is the board. So let me again know if you're having any problems as we go along, but hopefully we get cracking. And this, to me, this position here is a really weird puzzle to get us started off. And the puzzle is, I mean, would you ever get this position in a game? I very much doubt it. If you do, then you're playing some very weird form of chess. But this puzzle was created by a guy called Simon. And yes, we are actually live. We are live. This is live, Mr. Reeves. We're here. I can hear you. I can see your chat. And the third puzzle here, it's white to play and win. But what is the quickest way that white can win? Obviously, white is winning because he's a rook up. And you can win this in a number of ways. I mean, you could bring the king over and checkmate with a rook along the side. But there's a very funny way that white can win here. When I first saw this made me think, oh, I like this. This is so much fun. So what is the right first move? So I'm going to show you the first move. And then hopefully you can work out this funny puzzle. The first move here is a move you might not be thinking of. And the first move is castle's queenside. Can you Adam and Eve it? Believe it? And this is a great first move. Now, black only has one option here. The black king is stuck. It can't move here or here because the pawns are guarding those squares. So what can black do? Well, black's only got one move. He has to take that pawn. Now, I call this the ladder puzzle because what we're about to see now is a very weird ladder-like thing. I don't know if any of you have played Snakes and Ladders. One of those things you play as a kid, but this reminds me of, you know, someone landing on the snake and falling down the snake, and the snake are these pawns on the A file. So what move should white play here to checkmate in the quickest time possible? And as soon as you find the first move, everything else should become a lot easier. And yeah, this is just a weird little puzzle just to get us kicked off. And some of these are going to be, some of these are going to get harder as we go along. Some of these are going to be quite easy, but generally they're going to be quite hard. Oh, well done to a couple of you who have got this. Now, I'm sorry if you've seen some of these before. You know, you may have seen some of these puzzles before, but that's the way it goes. And well done. I see is it Sarab, who's got the right answer, to Theodorus, who's got the right answer. Hello to Anit Chess. I haven't seen you around for a while, sir, if you're the Anit I'm thinking of, but well done. And well done to Ram, and well done to Utam. You've all got the right idea. Well done, guys. And the right idea here, which I find really, I don't know, it made me laugh. The right move here is Rook to D8. Why is the right move? Because normally you want to trap your opponent's king on the back rank in order to checkmate him. But in this one, we want our opponent's king to fall down the snake and end up on A1. So what is the only move that black can play now? Well, he can't go backwards now because the rook is guarding these two squares. He can't go sideways because of the pawn. He can't go to B6 because of the pawn. So the only square he can go to is this one. So he has to take there. And remember, we want to get him falling down the snake. So what do we do now? Get him falling down the snake. What a next move. So anyone who hasn't got the puzzle yet, come on, have a go. Have a go at trying to get the puzzle now. Make that king fall down the snake all the way to A1. Hello to Chess Leash. Hello. I'm going to say hello to you as well. And everyone else who's just joined in. Hello to Sam. And remember, do leave your answers in the chat as we go along. And Theodorus, you have the right move. We don't want the king to go backwards. So we've got to cut it off on this file, the 7th file. So we go Rook D7. And again, can you now see the pattern? It's producer Chris. Hi there. It's a little bit tricky, but once you see the idea, and this is often the case in chess, once you see the idea, it becomes a lot easier. Because again, what is the only move that the black king can now do? Remember, we're trying to get the king to A1. What's the only move? And the only move, well, Sam, please don't get annoyed. I haven't got a million eyes. I've only got 2 eyes, and those 2 eyes can only look at certain things at certain times. So if I don't give you a very big mention, Sam, which I'm doing now, I apologize. But hey ho, that's life. Get used to it. Toughen up, my man. I'm joking. So, okay. So, yeah, there's only one move that the black king can do. It can't go to A7, B7. Can't go to these squares. It has to fall down the snake. Can you see the pattern now? We want that king falling down the snake. I call it the snake, like Snakes and Ladders. What is the way to go? So, hello, producer Chris. Do leave your comments. I'm trying to read them as we go, but we can now hopefully see the pattern. We cut the king off again, Rook D6. What does the king have to do? Only got one move. It has to fall down the snake. It can't go backwards. What is the move now? We cut the king off again. Slowly, slowly spank the monkey. And here, the king goes down the snake. And we now play Rook to D4. And yet again, what is the only move? I may have shown this puzzle before. I mean, I might be repeating some of the material here, I'm afraid, if you've watched all my streams. You know, sometimes that will happen, but there's bound to be some new stuff out there as well. So I apologize if you've seen it before. But it's kind of a bit late notice me doing this for myself. I mean, I'm not blaming anyone else. It's my own fault for being a bit busy recently. But okay, the puzzle now. King takes A2. all your pawns have gone now, so it's fallen all the way down the snake, but there's one more move, rook d3, and now where does the black king have to go? The only square it can move to is king to a1, and now we go rook to a3, checkmate. So for me, I mean, I know that is, you know, probably it's never something you're going to get in a game, is it? But for me, you know, I really like that puzzle. I thought it was quite fun, and when I saw it, I thought I like that. That's got a sense of humour about it, and you know, that's often what chess is all about. And I'm going to tell you a funny little story now. I think. You know, I've been playing chess in competitions for 30 years, and you pick up stories as you go along. Now, one of the funniest stories I heard, and I'm going to show you on a chessboard. This is a true story. So we're going to go back to the chessboard now, and I'll just get a new game on the board. So let's just bring up a new board, shall we? And here we go. So this next game, again, this is all about funny little stories today, really, which hopefully will help you a little bit as well. But you may or may not know the Grunfeld opening. So let me just flip the board around. Now, the Grunfeld is an opening that black plays. So we're going to look at this from the black side. And the Grunfeld is an opening you can play when white starts with the queen's pawn to d4. And after pawn to d4, the Grunfeld goes knight to f6. This is a main move. And now white's main move is c4. And here we play g6. So we want to, what we call fianchetto our bishop. And after this one, white normally plays knight to c3. And black here, what is the Grunfeld? Can anyone? And black here, what is the Grunfeld? Can anyone tell me what the Grunfeld is in the chat? Let's see. Come on, tell me in the chat. What is the Grunfeld? Maybe Chestervish Nick. I have a little look at the Grand Prix later on. Should we do that maybe for the second half of this lesson? Let's do that. You tell me what you want and I will deliver. So yeah, maybe I'll teach you the Grand Prix after this one. I'll give you a little lesson on it, I think. We'll make it a bit spicy, this webinar today. The Grunfeld is, of course, well done to Sam, where black now strikes in the center with pawn to d5. Now, this is a main opening. It's been played by a number of good players. So who's played this? Well, Bobby Fischer, ex-world champion, played this quite often. Garry Kasparov, another world champion, played this one. And nowadays, the main people who play this are Peter Svidler, 8 times Russian champion, and Maxime Lagrave plays this as well. And the idea is, okay, white takes this pawn here, and we now play knight takes d5 because our queen is defending the knight. And something like e4, knight takes c3, pawn takes c3, and at some point black plays c5, and black is trying to attack the center from the sides. So this is a way, this is black's idea to attack the center, because white has a very nice center with these 2 pawns from the side. So that is the Grunfeld. Now, so I heard this story and I checked with some friends of mine who are from Russia, some grandmasters from Russia, just to check that it was true. And they said, yeah, it's totally true, Simon. One of them was there to witness it. Now, there was a famous story of a Russian grandmaster. You can probably Google him. I won't mention his name now. And he was black and he was a Grunfeld expert. So he loved playing the Grunfeld all the time. And on one occasion, he drunk a little bit too much, as we were talking about that earlier, weren't we? Time for a beer, time for a beer. But okay, he drunk a little bit too much. And he had the black pieces and he was playing another grandmaster. So you can remember what I just showed you. And, well, when I say he drank a bit too much, he was completely wasted for his game of chess. And it was an important competition. It might have even been the Russian Championships. And the game started like this. It started e4. And after e4, he now played knight to c6. and his opponent thought, that's a bit of a strange move. Why is he playing knight to c6? That's not a main variation. He doesn't normally play this. So his opponent now played knight to f3, and he now played b6, and white thought, well, that's a really weird move. You don't normally go knight there and pawn there because I can take over the center. So white now played d4, and white now took over the center with these two pawns. To answer your question, Anit, why was he drunk? Because he drank too much. And in this position now, black now played e5, and white thought, what on earth is black doing? And he thought, okay, I'm just going to go pawn takes pawn. And at this point, the grandmaster of the black pieces suddenly said, and loads of people heard this in the tournament hall, suddenly said, this is the worst Grunfeld I have ever seen. And he was so drunk, he had tried to play the Grunfeld. You can see the similarity, but he got it the wrong way round. So he'd been doing his normal moves, which he does against 1d4, but he'd done it against a totally different starting move from white. And he suddenly realized here he's just lost a pawn, he's a pawn down, and he's got his opening completely mixed up. Okay, so we have Gotham telling us which grandmaster it was, Kolmov, who's quite a strong grandmaster. Because look, the Grunfeld, as we saw before, is like this. Look at black's moves. Black plays it this way. And now he plays d5. So he does the same kind of thing, but because this guy was so drunk, he got it the wrong way round. He thought he was playing the Grunfeld, but he wasn't looking at his opponent's moves. And after this move, he got the board totally mixed up. What a crazy guy. I mean, I found that story quite funny. This guy mixing up his moves like that. And it's quite an important lesson to learn from that one. And the lesson to learn is really always look at your opponent. Well, don't drink before a game. It is quite an important idea. Maybe have a beer after the game, but not before. And but it also teaches a very important lesson. I think a lot of amateur players forget about this. And the lesson is basically when you're playing chess, the most important thing that people forget about is to look at your opponent's moves. So many amateurs only concentrate on their own plan, and they don't concentrate on their opponent's plan. So you've got to make sure when your opponent plays a move. So that's another thing to bear in mind. Okay, so let's move on to another puzzle that we have, or I have. So let me just set this up before I bring the board back. And this one is, this one again is a bit of a weird position. I'll get the position up in a second. There's not many pieces left. And this one is to do with trapping your opponent's pieces in the ending. But I think it's quite funny. And everything I've got here is hopefully got some kind of do with Google Hangouts. So do let me know if it is becoming a real problem. I don't know what that is. I apologize. And, well, it's obviously quite frustrating. So anyway, let's now move back. And I'm just going to continue anyway. Hopefully it won't become a major problem. So is it a bit laggy? People are saying it's very laggy. Ah, dear. So frustrating. I don't know why it's been so laggy. So I will... It's very annoying. I'm just wondering if I can change any settings in it. If anyone's got any advice as to how I can maybe try to change anything, then I will try to do that. Very sorry that it is laggy. It's not good that it's laggy. Okay, well, I'm sorry about that. I will have to continue. If anyone has got a suggestion, this doesn't normally happen like this. So it just must be one of those weird problems. But do let me know if you have any suggestions how I can fix it. Okay, anyway, this puzzle is white to play and win. So I will type it here. And I'm sorry about the lag. Now, it really, any suggestions how I sort it? Okay, I just wonder if I can close anything down. Let's have a look. Okay, yeah, I'll stick with the board then. Maybe I won't bring up my video. I'm just going to run an internet speed check because I'm hoping it's not something at my end that I can fix. So let's just see if I can. I'm going to try to change a couple of settings, I'm afraid, people. Now, okay, so I'm not gonna bring the video back up. I think I might even turn the video off, see if that helps. So I'm gonna, oh no, you do need the video. Hang on a minute. Let's go back to the application and I'll leave my video off, see if that helps. Okay. And yeah, just try refreshing as we go along. So this one again, okay, we're just going to do this one more puzzle, and then I'm going to show you something else as we have. Now, this one's quite interesting. Now, it's white to play and win. Now, if you get to bishop and knight versus king, it is actually a winning position. It is a winning position, bishop and knight versus king. So what white needs to do here is try to win the black bishop. And this is what we need to do. We need to trap that black bishop. And remember, do refresh. Hopefully that will get rid of some of the lag. So try to work it out. So you need to try and win this bishop. How do you do that? Now, you've got a lot of moves. You can move your knight here with a check, can't you? So you could go knight to f4 check. But the famous saying is the threat is stronger than the execution. So we're going to try and keep that one as a threat. So how can white win this one? And while you try to work this out, I do want to remind you, and I am of course sorry about the lag, but one thing I want to remind you that, you know, at the moment there is a super sale going on, and I will be doing more streams if you go to my Twitch channel and YouTube channel over the next couple of days about this. But the sale is, if you click below on the link below this video, at the moment it's an amazing deal. I think that, I mean, I've done 21 hours of various videos, and they're very high quality, and you can buy that package now if you click the link below, and you'd be crazy not to at the moment, because this sale only goes on for another couple of days for $40. So that would of course help me make more videos, but also you will get over 21 hours of tuition from a grandmaster. So you're basically paying like pretty much $2 an hour for grandmaster lessons, and you can buy that now by clicking that link below. So do go and check that. So has anyone got the answer? Anyone got the answer? So let's see. I'm just trying to look now, see if anyone's got it. Okay, well, don't just tell me the first move. Right, Jess, you have the right idea. Well done. What you need to do, and this is basically like a game of tag. So we're using sort of game analogies with this. And when I mean a game of tag, all you need to do now is chase that bishop around with your king. So how do we do that? So we play king to b8. Now, again, this is, again, a theme I'm trying to teach you today. And as well as showing you some funny problems, the theme I'm trying to teach you is how think about your opponent's moves. So don't just think about your own moves. I mean, if you were just thinking about your own moves here, you'd probably be thinking about moving the knight because you get a check in. But in order to get better at chess, you've got to think about what your opponent's next move is going to be. Now, with king to b8, this is thinking about your next opponent's moves, because he's got to do something about his bishop. So you've got to get into the mind of thinking where he's going to move that. Now, if he moves it to any of these two squares, he's going to lose it quite easily. And it should be clear to see what happens if he moves his bishop to this square. What happens if he moves his bishop to e6? What does white play here? How does white win that bishop? And he should win the game, even though it's a little bit tricky. So there's two ways for white to win here. Let's just make sure you're following this at the moment. White to play and win now. How can you win that bishop now? I don't think there's a c5. That would be c5. But Sam, well done. Yes. And well done, you, Tam, who's got the right answer as well. That's very good. You can either play knight to f4 or knight to d4. So if you've got either of those moves, well done. Because now when we move the knight, this check is much more powerful because it has a reason. There's no point checking your opponent's king unless you have a reason. But here, when the king moves, we take our opponent's bishop, and this is a winning position, but it is very hard to win with knight and bishop. I actually saw ex-women's world champion in the world championship match not being able to win with knight and bishop versus king, but I suggest it's something you should all try to learn. I've got a video on my YouTube channel for free if you want to learn how to do that. So this is really chasing the bishop. So now hopefully you can all see the pattern. The bishop only has one square to move to, bishop d7, and we keep chasing it. So we now play king to c7. And after king to c7, let me make this board a bit bigger for you. Where does the bishop go? No, it can't go to e6 because we win it. Where else can it go? Well, what happens if it goes to a4? How does white now win? How does white win if the bishop goes to a4? What is the best move for white now? White to play and win. The Anit chess, you're right. It was Anna Yushnina who did it. That's right. And she failed to checkmate with knight and bishop, Anna Yushnina of the Ukraine. Correct. Now, well done to Utam and JK, Sam as well. Knight to c3, and again, this check wins the bishop. So the bishop has to go to e8. And can you see what we're doing now? We're chasing the bishop. We're going king d8. But in order to see the pattern, you really have to be thinking, where is my opponent going to, where's his next move? Now, if the bishop goes to c6, how do we win the bishop now? How do we win the bishop now? Quite easy. Quite easy. Let's just see. How do we win the bishop now? Hello to Voice of Reason. Glad you're joining this webinar. How do we trap that bishop now? How do we do that? Knight to d4. Well done. So let's go back. The bishop now, what happens if it moves to g6 or h5? So the two squares I've highlighted there, and again, I'm not going to move the piece this time. I'm going to try to get you to picture it. What happens if the bishop tries to run away to one of these two squares? What is the winning line then? What is the winning line then? Well done, Sam. Knight to f4 traps the bishop. Here, knight to f4, check, trapping the bishop. So bishop to f7 is forced. We keep chasing it, and now where does this go to? Well, it owns one square, because if it goes to this square, we go knight to d4, check, winning the bishop. If it goes to this square, we have knight to f4, winning the bishop. If it goes to a2, we have knight to c3, winning the bishop. So it has to go to this square, and now king to f8. And again, I think this is a very funny, I just find this very funny. It amuses me anyway. King to f, where does the bishop go? It can't go to any of these squares because it gets checked and it gets lost. So it has to go to h7. And here, it should be easy to see, we're going to finally trap the bishop with king to g7. And that bishop is now trapped. We're going to win the bishop. And as long as we're not world champion, Ushnina, and as long as we know how to win this, we will win the game. So I thought that was quite a nice one. I mean, I enjoyed that study myself. I thought it was a very, very funny study. Now, I'm going to show you, I think, another little study. See if anyone get this. And this one, I'm just gonna pick a good one for you guys. And we're going to go from the start of the game here, I think, with the next one. So we're going to have a look at a whole game. And I'm going to show you an interesting opening. And then we're going to have a look at, I'm going to give you, someone asked about the Grand Prix. So I'm going to show you a bit of the Grand Prix. Now, I'm not going to bring my video back up because that messed things up, I'm afraid. So we're just going to go to the next one. And let me just get this set up, hopefully. And, oh, okay. We will go to... And again, one thing I like to say, you know, if at the moment, only for the next couple of days, and if you're watching this in the archive on the Brilliant iChess YouTube channel, the link below will allow you for a limited time to buy 21 hours of top quality videos by me. That link is just below in the description. So if you want to support me, and you want to learn some good chess openings, some great attacking concepts, click on that link, because at the moment it is half price and it's only $40. So you're getting like $2 for an hour lesson off me. And I have to say, each of those hour lessons which you're going to buy with this, I've put in a lot of work, probably 10 hours for each hour. So you're going to get a very good deal if you click on that link below. That's and that will help me as well. Now I'm going to show you a funny game before we look at the Grand Prix opening, because a lot of you seem to like the Grand Prix and a lot of you want to learn a bit about the Grand Prix. Now I know the Grand Prix, so we'll have a look at that in a minute. But first of all, let me show you a very funny opening. Now this game is only 10 moves long, but it combines great attacking ideas with a very interesting opening. Now here, white played b4. So what is, first of all, the name of this opening? I mean, I think it has a couple of names, but anyone know the name of this opening? Now, it's not really important to know the name of the openings, unless you're trying to buy a DVD or book on it, and you buy the wrong book because you got the name wrong. I mean, my names are very bad. Okay, buy a neat side you could pop in for a little bit. The Polish, the orangutan. Wow, Theodorus giving a different name now. I don't know what that means, Theodorus. But yes, I mean, this is called the Polish opening, or I know it for the orangutan. I like the name the orangutan. It's a bit of a crazy opening, and it's quite an interesting way to play, and I think it's something you guys could have a lot of fun with. If you want to try Sokolov, I think I don't think it's Sokolov's opening. Is it Solokos? Maybe you're close there, Rajesh. But anyway, you can probably Google it, and it's not the Grob. This one is better. I mean, G4 and move 1, which is a favourite of Michael Basman and others, is the Grob opening. I don't think this is a very good opening for white. I think it weakens the much. But I think B4, if we just go back, is a pretty okay opening. And I'm going to show you this game first. Now, there's a lot of things that black can do here. In this game, black played E6. So he's trying to grab the pawn on B4. Sokolowski, that's the one, JK. You got it right. Thank you for reminding me about the name. Now here, after E6, the whole point of putting this pawn here is to go bishop B2. And this is the idea of, I'm going to call it the orangutan because I like that name. The bishop becomes very good on this diagonal. I mean, this is why white plays this opening. It's an interesting idea. And hello, Bugna. Hey, Howard. Glad you're joining in as well. You're here. And what should black play here? Well, in the game, black decided to blunt out the bishop on b2. So this is all pretty normal. He played to f6 here. And after knight to f6, black is now threatening to take that pawn on b4. So you have to do something about that. So white now defends it. And the idea of this orangutan opening is for white to get a bit of space on the queen side and to get a good bishop. So it gets your opponent out of the theory books. Black decided he was just going to castle. So we got bishop e7 and he wanted to get castle. White now played e3. Black now castled, and I really like white's next move here. I really like white's next move. Awesome Chess is saying that Fischer played this. I think Awesome Chess, I don't want to say you're wrong, but what I recalled is that Fischer played 1 b3. So he didn't put the pawn on b4, he put it on b3. And if I'm correct, Fischer, ex-world champion, I'm sure you'll, well, if you haven't heard of Fischer, you're probably on the wrong channel here. Fischer played 1 b3. And I think he played it twice. I think he played it once against Swedish Grandmaster Ulf Andersson. I think he played it another time, but I can't recall who else he played it against. So anyway, in this opening, I really like white's next move. Does anyone want to guess what white now played? And one thing I want to tell you is that white lined up everything against black's king. And Omkar, well done. You're on fire today, Omkar. And, well, Rajesh, I like your idea as well. I have to say, but it's coming. It's coming soon. But first of all, generally, a good rule is before we start an attack against our opponent's king, we need to we need to build up the pieces first. And here, I really like bishop d3. This is quite an unconventional move, quite an unconventional opening. And the bishops are now lining up against that king over there. And, you know, it just looks quite, you know, these bishops are ready. They're like they're cannons about to fire cannonballs at that king. So the game now continued with h6. Now, I don't like this move. This move, one thing you should always do, guys, is avoid moves around your king unless they're necessary. It's okay to make an escape square for your king later on in the ending when there could be a back rank idea, but don't weaken your king by playing pawn moves. And this move, it weakens the king. So after this move, well, first of all, before we attack, we need to bring out firepower. And I see a lot of you suggesting g4, but I like White's next move because he's bringing the pieces into the game. Remember, you need to build an attack from a strong foundation, and knight to f3 develops another piece. Okay, so I think this is a good move. Black now played b6, and here, and now, as JK is saying, actually, h6 is what a lot of people refer to as a hook. When we attack in chess, it's like you go fishing. You know, imagine, I don't know if any of you go fishing, but when you try to catch a fish, you need to have a hook because that hook catches on to the fish. This h6 pawn, and that's a good, you know, JK, well explained there, it's a hook. We can try to use that point as some way to break through. So in this position, g4 was a very imaginative and aggressive move. White is trying to play g5 to open up the black king on the g file, get the knight into g5. So he's using this h6 pawn as referred to as a hook. So good there. Always watch out for points you can try to attack. Now here, black continue with bishop b7. So let's just see what happens if black takes on g4. Now this taking on g4 shows a very typical idea from white. A very typical idea from white. What is White's idea now? If black had grabbed that pawn, what would White have played? Now, the pawn is not so important because we're going to get a big attack. We've got our cannons, and now we can bring in another cannon. Eric, well done. Awesome chess, well done. Rook to g1. And this is another cannon lining up against the black king. That knight is going to have to move at some point because we've got h3 coming. And after knight to f6, there may not be an immediate win here for White. But things are looking very dangerous for black with this rook lined up here, the bishop lined up here. Maybe White can try something like, I'm thinking about my opponent's most important piece, which is the knight on f6. That's stopping everything. So how do I get rid of that? Maybe I'm also thinking about which of my pieces are not good. My knight on b1. So maybe I could try knight c3, knight to e4. Imagine that knight coming to this square. That looks quite good to me, trying to get rid of another piece. So I think black should have taken the pawn. Bishop takes f6. I don't like Sam because after bishop takes, black defends g7 and he attacks the rook. So I wouldn't play that because your bishop is your best piece. I mean, one thing I talk about in my Master Method series is very important. Whenever you've got an opportunity to exchange like piece for like piece, always think which piece is better. Is the knight better than the bishop, or is the bishop better than the knight? If the bishop is better, don't swap it off. Very, very simple. So don't exchange here. I mean, I think just knight c3 would have been good, bring in a good attack. And then maybe try to go queen e2, maybe even get the queen to g2 like this. Get the queen over there. That would be quite a strong plan. In the game, though, black did not like that. And, okay, well, Sean is giving is it Sean? Ned is giving an interesting idea. Sean is saying maybe bishop takes g7 here first. Maybe, Sean. Maybe that's an interesting idea. King takes, and now rook g1. I mean, that's not a crazy idea, Sean. Nice idea. I like it. I like that idea as well. But is there anything else we can do? Well, another idea. I've just seen another idea, guys. I don't know if this works, but after knight g4, we could even go completely mental with knight to g5. What about that? Trying to get our queen into the attack. But as you can see, there's lots of ideas. In the game, let's go on with the game. Black played bishop b7. And now it gets a lot of fun. G5, pawn takes G5. And what idea did white now come up with? So what idea did white now play? I mean, it looks like white's just blundered because your rook has been attacked. But what is white's best move now? What is white's best move now? Producer Chris, you weren't too far off. You had the right ideas, and that's the main thing. Getting the ideas correct. What is the right move now? Give me a reason, because Sam, you have the right move, but after knight G5, bishop takes H1, what are you going to do next? You've got to have a fight. You've got to look ahead in chess. Smoky dark, Ram, give me a reason. Why? I like that. JK is shouting, Harry, Harry. Well, I have to say, JK had to take that. Then that would be a great move because you get the rook in. But I think black can play G4 after H4. I like the way you're thinking, though. So what is the right idea? Oh, iChessNet. That wasn't actually. I guess that is our friend Andrew. Well done, Andrew. The right idea here, and well done to Awesome Chess, is knight takes G5. Another piece comes in the attack. Maybe later our queen can come in, and after we lose our rook on H1, we have 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 pieces attacking. So we've got to look at ways to crack through. Hello, Will Stewart. Haven't seen you for a while, sir. Good to. I guess it's quite early wherever you are. So good morning to you. Good morning to you, Will. You're cheating there. You're too strong, Will. Go back to bed. Get some breakfast. Get yourself a coffee. So what is the idea? Will's actually an FM, so he's bound to spoil it for the rest of you. He's too strong for this. The idea is, let's get rid of a key defensive piece, that knight on F6. And this is another thing you've got to consider. When you're attacking in chess, look at your attacking pieces, knight, and these cannons, which are the bishops. You could call them archers. You could call them laser beams. You could call them whatever you damn well want. They're doing a great job. But what is black's key defensive piece? It is indeed the knight on F6. Hello, Will. Good. Okay, I don't know what time it is over in Costa Rica, but I hope you're doing well, sir. Anyway, that is the key defensive piece. So what we need to do is always look ways to get rid of our opponent's key defensive pieces. And again, in the course below, if you have a look, if you buy this course and, if you want to support me and you want to also help yourselves get better at these kind of ideas, I talk about concepts of getting rid of defensive pieces. I talk about very dangerous attacking openings. If you want to learn more about this for a short time, click on that link below. Go and buy yourself that course. Treat yourself. I mean, you would be crazy not to, surely. It's a great deal. And, if you do buy that course, it's 21 hours for $40. And it's just on that little link below. If you're watching this, do click it, do buy it. It's going to help you guys. But the idea now is simply bishop takes F6, getting rid of that defender. Well, black has to take that bishop back because he didn't in the end, but if he does take it back with the bishop, white can now get the queen to H5. So he can now play his big queen into the big position. And this position here is indeed winning. The queen flies in with a monstrous attack. And there's not really anything can be done to stop this. I mean, first of all, let's just have a look. If rook 2, because queen H7 is the main threat. Queen coming down here. So rook E8 may be the only way. And how does white force checkmate now? How does white force checkmate now? You have 3 pieces attacking. Now, another little rule, I'm giving you little tidbits as we go along, is when you have 3 pieces attacking, that is the golden number. You're normally going to checkmate your opponent's king unless you have 1, 2, 3 pieces attacking. So how do we checkmate here? How do we checkmate in this position? What is the best way to checkmate? Checkmate in 2 moves. It's checkmate in 2 moves here. Well done, Omkar. You have the right way is to actually first go bishop H7 check. Because now, whichever way the king goes, is going to be checkmate. King F8, queen takes F7. Bang! Or should we say, Boom! Put that in your pipe and smoke it. And if king to h8, can someone tell me to here? Where is the boom? Boom! Knight to f7. And like I've always said to you, if you are actually playing in competition, you get to checkmate your opponent like that, please do shout boom at him. Tell me what he says. Now, in the game, Black must have seen that, and after taking here, he actually played an idea which I believe someone recommended, and the idea that Black now played was g6, and Black thought, okay, I'm okay now, because I'm stopping the queen coming in. But White now has a winning move. What is White's winning move? And we've only got 10 minutes to quickly look at the Grand Prix. I'm running out of time. I always run out of time. Boom! And there's a big boom here. Sam, I don't hear you saying boom. Can I get a boom off you, Sam? Give me... Oh, that's it, JK. JK has got the boom in the room. The boom in the room. The boom in the room. And the boom in the room is this beautiful move, Queen h5. Boom! And we are threatening Queen to h7 or Queen to h8 checkmate. So there's only really... I mean, bishop takes bishop, checkmate. Thank you very, very much. And what else? Pawn takes queen. This has actually got a name. It's called the Blackburn Checkmate, actually named after one of the strongest ever English players, Blackburn, who did this checkmate before I did. It's bingful. It's blooming boomingful. That's correct. Boom! By the way, if anyone does say boom to their opponent in a competition and they get thrown out of the competition, please don't come whining to me. You're responsible for your own actions. I might give you a free DVD in compensation, but that's all you're getting. And the checkmate now is this bishop h7. And again, well spotted, as Awesome Chess is saying, it's a magic number. 1, 2, 3. Black has no defenders, so that is booming beautiful. Booming beautiful. I like that. I'm going to use that more. Okay, so let's now have a look at the Grand Prix. I'm going to give you a 10-minute lesson on an opening. And one thing I will say is that I do look at the Grand Prix in the video series, which I'm flogging here. If you click that link below, please do click the link below to help me, help me do more of what I'm doing. It's the only way I make a living nowadays. So you can help me click that link, buy it for $40. It's a bargain. And the next opening I'm going to talk about, I talk in much more detail in that course. So go and get that course. And the opening I'm going to talk about, let me just get this lined up, and I'm going to give you a quick lowdown, is the Grand Prix. So the Grand Prix is an opening you play with White, and it's an opening that you can only really play against the Sicilian. So e4, c5, and some of you asked about the Grand Prix, so I'm going to tell you about it. And the Grand Prix, and I talk about this a lot in my master method, is where White now normally plays knight to c3. So the open Sicilian, White plays knight to f3 and then plays d4. But there's a lot to learn here. So a very simple way to play is knight to c3, and our idea is to go f4. So we get two awesome pawns striving down the board. Now, White used to play f4 here. This was really an opening that became popular in England in the 1970s. And he used to pawn to f4 here. But the problem here is that Black had a good counter-strike, d5. So then White started to think, well, I don't want to allow d5, but I still want to go pawn to f4. So I'm going to stop d5 first. I'm going to go knight here. Now Black can't go d5. So what does Black do? Well, let's not worry so much about what Black does or doesn't do here. What is White trying to do? White is trying to do the following moves, and give this a go. Give this a go. Bunga is saying, Simon, are you going to stream this week? Well, I hope so, Bunga. Unfortunately, my dad's been a bit ill and in and out of hospital, so I've had to taxi him to hospital, and that'll be the same for a while. So I haven't got much time to do that. I'm going to try to. I won't be doing one today. I might try to do one tomorrow or Friday. I'm definitely doing a stream on Saturday. So I'm going to get back into the mix on Saturday. So go to my Twitch channel, twitch.tv, GingerGM. if you want to see me try to stream there. But the idea that white plays here, okay, let's just look at your ideas first. Remember, chess, we have to look at our opponent's idea. I was saying how important that is. But the idea is f4, and then we go knight to f3. This knight has to come out. So look at all your pieces. I'm trying to show you where all the pieces come. Then the way I play it, this bishop either comes to b5 or to c4. And then we castle. So try to pitch all these pieces, picture them going. And then we go d3. And then very importantly, we get our queen into the attack. We go queen e1, queen h4. And then we try to checkmate on h7. I mean, it sounds crazy. How can this work? How can this work? Well, Sam looks like he knows this quite well. I'm going to show you now. I mean, a very common setup here is, let's say, d6. This is played a lot. And now we continue our plan. So let me just show you. f4. So we're going f4. This is our first stage. Knight to c6. And now we bring our other knight out, knight to f3. So this is kind of stage one. Get the knight to f3. Now, black here has a number of ways to develop, but it's very popular. The way Bobby Fischer used to play this as black, and I mentioned Bobby Fischer a lot today, but he was one of the best chess players ever, so I think I'm allowed to do that, is g6, because he wants to put his bishop here to control some central squares along here, you know, just keep that bishop going. And by the way, hello to Serbia. Awesome chess. You need to buy what you know to improve then awesome. You probably need to click and buy that little link below the description, because that will teach you the Grand Prix and you'll be a master afterwards, won't you? Buy it. And now, after g6, where do we move the bishop? Well, in the old days, bishop c4 was supposed to be better, but there was a slight problem with putting the bishop here. And the slight problem was after bishop g7, castles, black is now able to play knight to f6. And why is this a problem? Well, it's not a big problem, but white would like to play e5 here. Why would white want to play e5? Because black hasn't castled. So when your opponent hasn't castled, you want to open up the position, and I want to open up lines towards f7. So that is why I'm playing e5. But there's a tactical problem with this position. Black can now win a pawn. How can black now win a pawn? Anyone see? It's a nasty little tactical trick. Imagine you're black here. How can black win a pawn here? I'm going to give you a bit of time to work that out. Well, Fischer actually used to play this plan, I believe, as well, Nilish. He probably did play, he played knight to e7 and pawn to f5, but not knight to f5. But Fischer also, this setup we see here is certainly the way that Fischer used to play a lot in the Sicilian when white didn't play the open Sicilian. But I'm just going to show you a little trick here. And we're running out of time as always. You know, it goes quick. But how can black win a pawn here? And always look for the most forcing moves first. I'm going to give you a clue. It's to do with the positioning of the white king. That is a clue. Not quite JK. Look for a more aggressive move. Look for a more aggressive. If you've got the first move correct, JK. You're not JK rolling, are you? If you are, I did like Harry Potter. Very good books. So no, but how can black win a pawn here? Okay, but tell me the next move. Yes, so that doesn't win a pawn. No, no one's told me the answer yet. Nope, that's incorrect, Nilish. Well done, awesome chess. You are being awesome today. You are correct. Well done, awesome. The trick here is black can go pawn takes here, pawn takes here, and now it looks like they can move. But if the knight goes to g4, white moves first, and there's some very dangerous ideas against here. I mean, if I was white here, I'd be even thinking of e6 to try to keep the king trapped there. A pawn sacrifice, but after something like pawn takes, it looks very dangerous, this position for black. There's a better move, and the better move that black has is knight takes e5. And this move is a nice idea, because when we go knight takes e5, queen d4 is a little opening trick, and the queen is going to nab that pawn, that knight on e5. It's going to take it. The king has to move, and black has won a pawn. It's a nasty little trick to watch out for. So if we go back to the opening again, the way I play this, if you get this setup, and we haven't got time to look at lots of other setups, if we get this set up, where do I put the bishop? Well, I don't put the bishop on c4. I play it with bishop to b5, pinning the knight on c6. Now, why do this? Two reasons. If black now plays bishop to c4, to d7, what do I play now? I now play bishop to c4. And you might be thinking, has Simon gone crazy? He's moved his bishop once and he's moved his bishop again. What is the point of that? Is this guy really a grandmaster, or is he just an idiot? Well, the point is, if bishop g7, castles, knight to f6, so we have the same thing as last time, except the bishop is here. We can now play e5, because this little subtlety of black taking on e5, us taking back, we cannot now play knight takes e5. Because after knight takes e5, black's queen is blocked and the bishop is actually misplaced, as Eric has pointed out in JK. So e5 in this position becomes quite dangerous because we have those ideas again of either bishop. Well, we can even consider bishop takes f7 here. What about that for a crazy move? King takes, knight here, double check. The king moves again, e6, threatening the bishop, threatening the knight. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on here. Maybe this is not the best line, but this gives white good attacking chances. So that is why I play bishop to b5. Now, Anton, my hero. Anton, hello, sir. I haven't seen you for a while. Get yourself a coffee. Is this a Grand Prix? It is. It is a Grand Prix, Anton. But you know what? I've only got one more minute of the lesson left. So you've timed it to perfection. I won't be able to bore you to death, Anton. Anyway, I hope you're doing well, Anton. And yeah, I haven't been in contact with you for a while. All the editing, everything's going well, mate. So I really hope it is. I'll be streaming again Saturday, if not before. So I hope to catch you there. So the idea of bishop b5 is, well, if black goes bishop g7, I'm probably going to take that knight because now I've doubled black's pawns and I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy to get that position, and what happens if bishop d7? Well, now we see the main idea. And to end this lesson, I want to show you the main idea. My main idea is bishop c4 because the bishop gets a very good attacking position. Bishop g7. Now I'm going to castle. And knight to f6 is quite risky because of e5. It's a risky little move. A lot of people play e6 first to try to block out the bishop. And now I'm just going to show you the plan that white has. d3. And now wherever the knight goes, if it goes to e7 or f6, it doesn't matter so much. Let's say knight to f6. Oh, it's Dan above. Dan above. That's who Anton is. If knight f6, now we go. This is a very important plan in the Grand Prix. The queen comes over to h4 to attack the square. And I've won so many games by playing queen e1, castles, queen h4, and then let's say something like rook b8. A very important idea here is f5 because we want to get our bishop to h6, our knight to g5, and it's amazing how many games in this I've won. Let's say black wins that. Yes, it is a pawn sacrifice, but our pieces are very good, and we're going for checkmate. We have the bishop, we have the rook, other bishop flies in. This is an important idea. Get rid of that key defender. And now let's say something like pawn takes e4, knight to g5, and this is the maximum attacking position you are aiming for in the Grand Prix. And I love this kind of position. This kind of position has treated me so well. Let's say that black takes another pawn. It should be a winning idea here. And this is a very important tactic if you play the Grand Prix. White to play and get a winning idea now. How can white get a winning idea now? And you do use it in the Dutch as well, Eric. That's why I like this opening, because it's similar to the Dutch that I play. And again, if you buy the course below in the description, the Dutch is included, I believe, in that. It might be lagging. I hope it's not lagging. Refresh if it is. And well done, Omkar. The winning idea, sack mate. Get rid of one defender, king takes. Get rid of the second defender, rook takes. And now, like I said, we're trying to checkmate on this square. Queen takes here, checkmate. And if king takes, well, here I would have a lot of good moves, but I'd maybe bring another piece in, check. And if king here, checkmate. If king here, checkmate. Oh yeah, liking it. And if king here, check. And checkmate. Oh yeah, I mean, look at that. How much fun is that? That's so much fun. Anyway, I'm going to try to put my video back on. That's the end of the webinar here. It might destroy everything, so I'd like you all for tuning in. I'm sorry about the lag. I don't know what's been going on with the lag. It's very annoying. It's my fault. So I'm really sorry about the lag. Sorry about the lag. Let me type that. And by the way, the new... Okay. Oh, I don't know. I didn't mean to shout that. Okay, so yeah, this course, you wouldn't have got this course before because it's a new course. It's a new course. It's actually the videos that I've done in the past. If you're a member of chess.com, you may have these videos. So I want to warn you about that. But if you're not a member of chess.com, then these videos you can buy below are all totally new, and they're over 20 hours. So you won't have had it before. Remember, iChess do give a money back guarantee for a month. So you can always ask for your money back if you're not happy. And I'm sure that this course, which you can click below, go and click on it now. It's only for this price for a limited time, will improve your chess. I mean, it's over 20 hours of instruction, so it will certainly improve your chess. Now, I would love to continue the webinar, but unfortunately I really must go. I'm going to be very busy until Saturday, so I'm sorry about that, but it's been very nice to do this webinar, and you can hopefully leave good comments in the into the the YouTube channel. And remember, if you want to help, do click and buy that course. You wouldn't have got the material. It's fresh material. It's $40 for 21 hours. I mean, that I think is great. It helps support me, which is also a very kind thing to do. We all need to pay the rent. But thank you so much, and I'll see you all soon. Hello, Halewood. I'll see you, late on Saturday, Halewood. I might do a stream on Friday. Who knows? I actually did quite a drunk stream a couple of days ago, but we won't go there. All right. Anyway, thank you, everyone. And I'll see you soon. Thank you so much for joining me here. Goodbye for now. And thank you for the boom. Boom. Goodbye, everyone. Let me just put the video on. Shall I put the video on? Goodbye. Yeah.